Boom. All right. Good. Raise your hand if you've ever been uncomfortable and it stopped you from doing something you think you want to do. All right. No? You've never been uncomfortable and been like, oh, I don't want to do that?
No, I just go through it.
Every time.
Good man.
You bold, bro.
All right. So there's a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of Roper's favorite books. It's his favorite book. All right. It's like $10 on Amazon. I would recommend getting it. It's super easy to read, super short. And one of the chapters, so the summary is this kid wants to be an archer. He wants to be the best archer there is. All right, so he goes overseas to Asia to get with his sensei named Akira, and he starts training archery, and he doesn't even get to shoot for the first year, 2 years, and all they do is chop wood and carry water. All right, and on his journey, he starts shooting the arrow, and he's hitting the target, and he's just slapping it over and over again. Easy clap, right? Just slapping the target. Yeah. All right. And then one day, he's shooting, and it's starting to get rainy and cold, and he's shaking because it's so cold, and he can't hit the target anymore. And the sensei comes up and he's getting John, the archer's getting all frustrated. He's like, I'm just gonna go inside. I can't hit the target. It's too cold. I can't do it. And Kira's like, uncomfortable isn't a choice. Uncomfortable isn't a choice. So do it now while you're practicing. Focus as hard as you can to hit that target, even though it's cold and raining. You have no control over it, and you're uncomfortable. Focus as hard as you can to hit that target, because uncomfortable isn't a choice. During training, you get to choose, right? You get to choose whether it's uncomfortable. There's even situations in life you get to choose whether it's uncomfortable. But a lot of times, things just show up, and it makes you uncomfortable. And if you've never been uncomfortable before, you're not going to be able to deal with it. All right? There's tons of situations. There's some funny ones and some serious ones. I got up to you and I. All right, and we do this tailgate. I'm a freshman. I'm quiet. I didn't come out of my shell in 5 years. Because all I did was wrestle and go to school and go to sleep. All right, so my social skills are about. And Doug, our head coach, Doug Schwab, we're at this tailgate, and he has this mic, and he's talking, and he brings up the team and introduces us, and he's like, all right, Hodges, come up here. Get the mic. I'm like, hello? Who? He's like, yeah, come up here. Come talk. And I don't remember whether I did good or bad, but I'm pretty sure I bombed. Bad. And I was way uncomfortable. But after that, I made a decision. I was not going to let that be uncomfortable anymore. So every time I got the mic, I got close to him because I wanted him to pick me to talk. And it got better and better every time. I got more and more comfortable. But at the beginning, it was awful. And that, without those 5 years of me talking, I could not get up here and do this. It still makes me uncomfortable, but it doesn't bother me. All right, I'm still uncomfortable. I'm gonna start sweating. My hands are shaking a little bit. All right, but it doesn't bother me near as much. All right, because before I'd get up here and be like, thanks for coming, guys, and my God. All right, but I can get up here and talk now with the discomfort, with it, alongside it. It doesn't go away. You just control it. All right. Another situation that I know was not comfortable. Coach Roper, when he first started wanting to do this club stuff, he had to shorten his budget for food to $40 a month. $48 a month in order to keep the gym open and pay all the bills for that and be able to coach wrestling. He ate ramen every night. Ramen noodles. Come home, all the ramen noodles, maybe sauce in it, maybe not. That's not comfortable. That is uncomfortable. And your kidneys probably hurt because all the salt and dang ramen. That's not comfortable either. You're gonna get kidney stones and it's a bad time. All right? But he did it for his goals. His mission. To be able to come here one day and coach you guys and help you guys. He's done a phenomenal job, and it started with, well, looks like I can only eat on $48 a month. That's what I got to do if I want to achieve my goals. All right, so he just right into the discomfort. Didn't even wince at it. Right into it. So if you choose it, if you choose to be uncomfortable, when it shows up at your doorstep knocking, and you didn't ask it to come in, you're ready for it. Easy. One of the hardest years I ever had in college, my grandma passed away, who I was extremely close to. Extremely, extremely close to. She passed away, and then later that year, my sister had a kid, and we thought it was gonna die. Like it was just born, and we didn't know what was wrong with it, and it had all kinds of medical problems, and we didn't know if it was gonna live or die. And I didn't have a choice to be comfortable anymore. I had to go. I went back home for my grandma's funeral, and to be with my family, to deal with the kid situation, and try and be a freaking rock for my family, and hold them up when they were in an uncomfortable position. And I'd been uncomfortable enough because of wrestling and because of my choices to be uncomfortable that I could be there. And you guys, I've talked about, I'm not an emotional guy, right? I'm not. So I don't deal with that stuff very well. Because I was sad. I was sad, and I didn't know what to do. But I showed up, and I walked into the discomfort. Walked right into it, and picked my family up. I did my best, the best I could. I cried, 100% cried. I cried a lot. But I was able to be there for my family because of my choices to be uncomfortable when I could choose them. All right? Man, that was a really tough year. I remember the week before I went home for all that stuff, I was just wrestling. I was practicing, I was just wrestling because that's all I could do to get my mind off of it. And I was just wrestling, I just started crying. We were just drilling, I was just crying. Everyone's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I was just crying. Man, that was a tough year. Kid ended up being fine, in case anyone's curious. He's got a little bit of brain damage, and he's coming along fine, but he didn't die, so that's good. He's walking around and talking, and he's good. But so ways you can choose discomfort are up to you. For me, working hard at first made me uncomfortable. It did. It was hard, and my lungs burned, and there was blood in my throat, and I throw up all the time because I got this weird thing where I throw up all the time when I work out. I don't know. It's really strange, but I do. And then it just became easy. Like, it became comfortable. It's still hard and uncomfortable, but I got used to it. So then I had to find something else to make me uncomfortable. And then it was the social thing where I had to go out and talk to people, and we had to cold call people from UNI to see if they want to buy season tickets. Just people I don't know. People that graduated in like 1950. So I was like, here, take this sheet, call these people from 1950. And they're answering the phone, they're like, hello? And I'm like, hey, do you want to buy some season tickets? They're like, what? I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And I was I'm telling you, the social stuff makes me uncomfortable. So I had to work on it. For 2 weeks, every day, I went down to the Union on campus, which is like the common area gathering place where people go and hang out and eat food and study in between classes and whatever else. I went down to the Union, and I would walk up to a table of someone sitting alone, or later on it was groups of people. Started out with someone sitting alone. I'd be like, hey, can I sit down and work on some stuff and share this table with you? Like, I don't want to take up too much space. And like, yeah. It's easy. They were just like, yeah. No one said no. No people said no. 0 people said no when I asked to sit down with them. I was like, huh. Man, people are nice. Like, this isn't that bad. This is not that bad. And then started moving on to sitting down with people and talking to them. So I'd have to learn how to have a conversation. And it was like, hey man, what's your favorite color? They're like, purple, I guess. I go to UNI, I don't know. I'm like, cool. See ya. And I get up and walk away. And then I sit down again and try again. And I started realizing that that's not a good conversation starter. All right, and you start to learn these things, and all in the middle of discomfort. All in the middle of it. Just discomfort all around. I'm like sitting down, shaking. Do a couple days of sitting down with somebody by themselves, and then I sit down with 2 or 3 people and talk to them. That's actually ended up, I thought it was going to be harder, but actually ended up being a little easier because they're already talking. You don't just have to start a conversation because they're talking to each other and you can join in really easy. And then you meet a lot of cool people that way. And then, the hardest one, where you go and sit with someone by themselves. It's a girl or boy, whoever you think's cute. Someone you think's cute. Someone you think's good looking, and you're like, yeah, that girl's good looking. And then you're like, I'm like, oh man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm shaking and my palms are swayed. Here I go. Go and sit down. Say, hey, can I use this table with you? Yeah. They say yeah, and they're like on their computer or whatever, trying to talk to them, and then they're just like ignoring you for the most part because they're like, this weird dude with messed up ears and weird flip flops. Like, why did he? I mean, share the table, but don't talk to me, man. And then after that, do it again and again and again with different looking, good looking girls. Try and get their number. Doesn't always work. Right? But it taught me a lot about being uncomfortable. And one of the more important, so discomfort comes a lot from what other people are going to think. Right? And I realized that next week, I saw that girl walk into class. She didn't even recognize me. She didn't care. Not because I was boring. I was probably pretty weird, and she should have remembered me. But just because she didn't care. She had her own things to do. She had her own things to worry about. Tim Ferriss, he does a podcast, and he interviews all kinds of successful people. One of his things he does to be uncomfortable and remind himself that people have their own stuff going on and that they don't really care what you're doing. He'll just go out in public, like to a Starbucks or a Walmart or somewhere where there's a lot of people, and he'll just lay down on the floor, in the middle of the floor. Like, in between the lines, just lay there. And you can't say why you're doing it, you just lay there. So he's laying down in the middle of Starbucks, and people come up like, hey man, like, you okay? What are you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm just taking a break. And he just lays there for like 15 minutes, and gets up, walks out. Guaranteed nobody's going to remember that in 3 weeks. That one might stick with them for 2. But 3 weeks, and it's going to be like, I don't even remember that guy. Doesn't matter. Another thing, one of my buddies did it in college. We'd go to a restaurant or the Union or whatever, and it's pretty loud. Like, there's some noise, some background noise, people talking, having conversations, eating. And all you do is just yell as loud as you can. He just yelled as loud as he could. Just, ah! And then everything gets quiet. And everyone's looking right at him. And he's just sitting there like nothing happened. And then everyone, literally 5 seconds later, is just back to eating and having a conversation. I don't care. I'm not coming over and being like, hey man, you okay? Like, why'd you scream? Like, what's going on? I don't care. All right, it makes them uncomfortable for like this long. And then you realize people don't care. Man, if I could give something to you guys, it would be, 1, make yourself uncomfortable when you can. All right, because then you start realizing things about yourself, about what other people are actually doing with their lives, and it just is without discomfort, you can't grow. All right. The other thing would be to do whatever makes you happy. All right, because people aren't going to care. Like, I wear sweats all week. It's hotter. It's 100 degrees. No one cares. All right. I wear probably a size too big of t-shirt than I should, but I just like it. All right. All right. I don't know if you guys seen that tie-dye one, that red one. It's my favorite one, and it goes like down to my knees. And then I have short shorts, so it looks like I'm not even wearing shorts sometimes. Because I like sit down, my shorts will come up, and my t-shirt's like down here, and like, why is this dude wearing a dress? Because I like it, man. Get off me. And then they're like, oh, cool. They don't care. All right. So to wrap this whole thing back around, make yourself uncomfortable when you can, so that when it comes knocking at your door, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to hide from it. You don't have to lock the door and get in the closet and pull sheets over your head. All right. Not that your bed's in the closet, just the extra sheets. You just got extra sheets in your closet in case someone comes knocking at your door. All right. Wish I had a better way to wrap that up, but that's it. That's what I got. I appreciate